ahead but running straight into a British assault. My goodness, Major K. Razor just really letting it rip. And Captain keeping nearby, because British officers do gain veterancy, so for example it's not a bad idea. And the Captain himself would in fact gain some small bonuses that can in fact benefit the British commander in a larger scale. In fact, I can't exactly remember, but I do believe it's some sort of command point advantage, or possibly some resources. And there we go, Cromwell tank cruiser charging ahead, ready to support the British. And I only have a pack at the moment, so it's certainly going to give him a small advantage. Not a bad idea. And of course setting up right here, so not only that, but he has a lot more munitions to actually play around with. Not a bad idea at all. But at the same time, he does really need to push through at the moment, otherwise things shall not go well for him. And Grenadiers are forced back as the British forces of the 51st Lowland Division march through here. Mines cleared out, and going straight for this northern point. The southern point, in fact, has seen barely any action this time around. It's a bit interesting to see most of the fighting going on here. Fulls Grenadiers and Pioneers marching in, perhaps with some Grenadiers, and now a Mortar as well, ready to lend some heavy fire support. And assault grenades being caught out here, and this is a rather unfortunate situation for the British commander to be in. Standing out right here in the open, while my troops are in fact a bit more in cover. Heroic charge, but Sapper team is lost, and the rest are forced to retreat. It looks like Captain is gone. This is an absolutely horrific loss for the British commander and his forces. Certainly I've taken some heavy losses as well, but I'm not losing entire teams, in particular not British teams, which are incredibly expensive to replace. And these chaps will have to get out of there before the Pioneers turn them into toast. In particular now that the Mortar is joining in for a bit of grenade fun. There we go. Looks like an infantry team barely makes it out of there, but dropping a Bren gun in the process, and is in fact cut down by this Pioneer. We shall name him Hans, hero of the little fight. And now we see a reconnaissance section moving about. Hans moving forward to spot, but is quickly getting out of there, because hero doesn't mean necessarily that you are stupid. And we are seeing some recuperation going on here. In fact, let's pause briefly as we are halfway through the match. How are things looking? Well, currently not too good for the British. They do have a bit of the map, but I'm currently holding most of the map. In fact, most of the victory points. He isn't really trying to put much pressure here, because currently he could really get away with that. There's barely anything here. Some barbed wire, yes. Some mines, yes. But that's about it. As you may notice again, sometimes the best approach is to attack somewhere else. Force your opponent to really move about his defenses and really frustrate him, instead of basically attacking the same spot where he can then basically well, I basically just need to lay down all of my defenses here. That won't necessarily always work out. Cromwell command tank getting over repaired right away. Over repairing being something that repair specialists of sappers can do. What does this mean? It means the truck will in fact be able to absorb even more damage than normal tanks, and that certainly is something that is very good to have. Are we seeing anything being produced? Yes, another Cromwell really opting for that heavy armored push. We shall of course have to see how this goes, but really the thing for the British, I do believe, should be to attack somewhere around here. Not so much around here, as it's clearly not working around him, and of course really expecting it by now. Mortars, packs, machine guns, and now we are in fact seeing a half-track, of course the Hanomag Schützenpanzerwagen, very nice vehicle. And I believe I'm, yes indeed, going for the flamethrower upgrade, and in this process getting veterancy, because the half-track is one of the few Wehrmacht vehicles, and in fact once it gets some veterancy, gains a damage bonus. In fact, it gains a veterancy too, so imagine flamethrowers with a damage bonus, even more lethal, and veterancy 1 means it takes less damage, so it's a rather nice vehicle. And let's return. Half-track getting ready for a incendiary surprise. Grenadiers marching out, Fulls Grenadiers, and of course other things, not equipping with Panzer because again, I don't know, he has Cromwell's. He's in fact doing something rather clever, this fellow. He's in fact amassing his armor, of course, perhaps not the best choice, but again, if he was a bit more bold here, but at the same time, the surprise of armor can really make a difference, and now we are seeing a Mortar in placement awfully close. One slight detail here, though, as in fact is in range of the MP42. Keep such things in mind. And there we go, getting suppressed and fired upon. Don't believe I've spotted the Cromwell. No, otherwise I'd probably be moving that pack. And Grenadiers snapping that. Ren gun moving towards northward. Pioneer support. Veterans 1 for infantry coming up. And we do have the first engagement here. Mines being laid down. Flame for a half-pack moving in. Cromwell opening fire. Mortars well. Full Grenadiers right next to the Cromwell. Not entirely sure what to do. But there we go. Panzer class being equipped. Mortar rounds though. The mortar pit has gone up. But it's getting scorched by my half-pack. But Full Grenadiers are taking exposed fire. Not looking good. And pack is on the field now, getting closer and blasting away. The mortar pit has been cleared out by the daring action of the half-track, but it does not survive. Half-track number 2 is lost. A bit unfortunate, but it decided it could heroically sacrifice its name in the name of the fatherland, and the Waffen-SS was known to not care so much about the losses. Stormtroopers now being summoned onto the field as well. Probably going to see some assault rifles for them and some other fun bits. Sappers moving in to provide a bit of repairs. Not a bad job, and we are seeing an infantry section moving in, grabbing that mortar section, but coming under fire. Pack getting awfully close as well, inching forwards and somehow missing that mine. That's an absolute luck, in fact. And infantry section stopped right short, getting pinned right at the front of the pit, and will have to retreat now. Oh dear, get out of there. Get out of there, Mr. Infantry. Oh dear, that's a terrible loss. And now the mortar pit is once more cleared out.
Our opponent has 200
Not looking
points.
good for the British. He has been woefully outmaneuvered. Did his best, but he was a bit too tenacious and constantly attacking from the same point. Instead of trying to spread out again, tried to attack from these points. And there we go, some more veteran stormtroopers of the 1st Regiment. Really, the veterans with assault rifles and Panzer sneaking forwards, ready to deal quite a lot of damage. Assault rifles equipped, assault rifle quite a nice weapon. But what is this? Commandos! Commandos have dropped, opening up the entire southern area, beginning to clear out this MG position. Oh my goodness! Daring chaps with their silent Sten guns. This is, oh dear, MG42 cleared out. This is certainly what he might be looking for. Commandos, assault grenades being used, but at the same time the full grenadiers there are taking quite a bit of damage, but commandos are getting stunned and rendered absolutely inoperable by all of this assault grenades, but my full grenadiers themselves are getting hit by the stun grenades and are getting stunned and bravely wounded themselves. Commandos retreating under heavy fire from the Stormtroopers, Stormtrooper. And now this mortar emplacement has been claimed in the name of the fatherland, blasting away with that form of British mortar against British positions. Things are not looking good at all. Casual clearing station doing its best to really receive some resources, but I do believe that Cromwell tank has been cancelled. In fact, that was a bit of a surprise actually. Things are really looking dire even with that Commando raid right there, but at the same time, if he had perhaps pushed a bit harder to the south, he might have been forced me a bit out to spread out more. Instead, I'm currently in a nice position. Grenadiers though coming under fire from the Cromwell, situated on a nice position overlooking everything with its 75mm gun, blasting away at everything that looks at me funny. My force is funny, that is. Grenadiers slightly pulling back, and we are seeing a forward headquarters coming in, deciding that this is really going to be where its fighting is. I might as well prepare this position and declare it my Schwerpunkt, my point of effort. And commandos, reconnaissance section sneaking about, perhaps looking to flank through here once more. Again, I'm surprised it's not really moving about. And mortar team clearing out. The final one dying from shrapnel wounds. Most horrific way to die. Not a happy way for sure. Commandos leading the charge. Perhaps not the best method, but then again, all there is currently are some grenadiers and other bits. But stormtroopers are sneaking about as usual, or have they retreated? Apparently they have for some reason. Must have been an accident. Commandos charging in. Oh dear. Pack being cleared out, and also note the pack actually gets a small damage bonus. I can't remember if it's veterans 2 or veterans 3. But commandos continue charging in, clearing out the full grenadiers with only veterans 1, which does not provide a bit damage protection. Oh dear, a slaughter it is. Grenades dropping in, full grenadiers dying, pack cleared out. This is quite some heavy losses. Veterans 2 lieutenant as well, providing some bonuses. And this mortar pit is once more in the hands of King George. This mine is apparently getting ignored. It's not finished. Apparently not. Funny that. Oh dear, Frontline team in a dire position. Of course, now with the pack cleared out, the Cromwell rules the field. The day, in fact, clears out another Frontline team. British medics pulling back those commanders to be refitted.
They're losing territory.
Mortar team forced out. Oh, goodness gracious, and we are seeing further commandos finally dropping in from all sides. This is it, perhaps the thing the 51st Lowland Division has hoped for. The Commando support 6th Airborne Division to really provide the support. They are finally able to open up several fronts and put the pressure everywhere. Again, commandos are really great if you can get them behind enemy lines and harass there. They are the ultimate harasser. They are quite tough, got grenades, demolition charges. They can really wreak havoc behind enemy lines, and that is currently what they're doing. Absolutely smashing. Running into a mine, not so smashing, but there you go. And going for the Sturm Armory, calling in a Stug. Apparently some Stugs from the 1st SS, as the 2nd SS actually didn't have a Stug Abteilung. A bit funny that. But the 1st SS did, and they're of course lending them most graciously to the 2nd SS Reich as it pushes forward. And we are seeing Blitzkrieg being prepared as well, for some reason. Not entirely sure what I had in mind there. Headquarters being decapped. This is really going to require a lot of me to actually take this area back. In fact, let's go have a look back at Krazor with his commanders who really are clearing the way. And of course we'll also allow him to see some packs. There we go. Pack will have to be slightly pulled back though. And we also seeing radio decryption or something like that. I can't remember the name exactly, but it allows him to see what I'm doing in terms of doctrine, in terms of units being constructed, researched, everything. And the mortar firing as well. Commandos pulling back, and we are seeing demolition charges being linked down. They can be used as improvised mines. You should be a bit careful about that. Since regular troops can spot them, but at the same time, if they don't and they run over it, one click and you're going to see one hell of a bang. And Stug 4 marching forwards. Pack though pulled a bit too far back, I fear. We'll have to move forwards once more. Mortar blasting away. Stug 4 with Armor Veterans 1. Again, Armor Veterans 1. Really nice upgrade. Moving forwards. And there we go. I can see the demo charge now. Pack setting up, ready to provide some covering fire. And Stug uses this button. And in fact, the pack opens fire accidentally on the mortar emplacements. It is in the way, but no. Stug actually takes a bit of fire. False grenades coming under fire from the Cromwell. And we are seeing the commandos continuing to do a bit of fun here. But remember, they can reinforce near gliders. He apparently doesn't know this or has forgotten. But again, remember that it can actually make quite a difference for troops if you can just use that glider to rise into cover and such. Mortar emplacement finally cleared out.